phones, Babylons can't crack the.
Yo, what do YouTube? B Kelly back again with another banger. Today's video, y'all, I'm going to be talking about the best quarterback from Last Chance U. Now, in Last Chance U, we've had a few quarterbacks who have been pretty good, like Malik Henry, James Franklin III, and Wyatt Roberts. But the guy I'm talking about today is DeAndre Johnson. Now, to begin this story, I'm going to take it all the way to First Coast High School in Florida to talk about DeAndre Johnson's high school career. DeAndre Johnson's first year at First Coast High School as a freshman, he started as a quarterback in all 14 games, and he helped lead the team to a 13-1 record, and he played pretty well, especially for a freshman starting his first year on the high school level. He completed 54% of his passes while throwing for 2,895 yards with 24 touchdowns and 7 interceptions. In DeAndre's sophomore season at First Coast High School, he would appear in all 11 games and start in all 11 games as a quarterback, but the production value did go down just a little bit in some categories. He only threw for 1,973 yards this season, but he did complete more passes, completing 58% of his passes, but the touchdowns went down to 20, and the interceptions also went down to 6. In DeAndre Johnson's junior season, he helped lead his team to an 11-2 record, and he played extremely well this season and even had a breakout season. He threw for 3,007 yards, completing an extremely impressive 68% of his passes, while throwing for 31 touchdowns and only 7 interceptions. In DeAndre Johnson's senior season at First Coast High School, he played even better than his junior year. He threw for 3,710 yards, completing 66% of his passes, throwing for 47 touchdowns and only 9 interceptions, and he helped lead his team to a 12-1 record. Coming out of high school in the 2015 class, DeAndre Johnson was a 3-star recruit, the 374th best player in the nation, the 10th best dual threat quarterback in the nation, and the 56th best quarterback in Florida, and he had 18 offers. Now let me tell you some of these offers. He had offers from Florida State, Clemson, Georgia, Iowa State, Louisville, Maryland, Miami, North Carolina, Ohio State, and the list goes on. He would commit to Florida State. Things for DeAndre Johnson at Florida State looked very good in the beginning, and he looked like he was showing some really good signs to be a quarterback for them in the future. But all the signs of progress for Johnson came to a crashing halt after he was arrested on a battery charge. Now, it's obvious that you would be suspended for this, and he was, but he was not suspended very long from Florida State. Less than 2 weeks from the incident and his suspension from Florida State announced on July 6, 2015 that DeAndre Johnson would be dismissed from the Florida State program due to the battery charge. DeAndre Johnson would then start his next part of his journey to the JUCO level at East Mississippi Community College. While at East Mississippi Community College, he would actually appear in Season 2 of Last Chance U. At his one season at EMCC, in the 2016 college football season, he absolutely ate up. In the 11 games he played in, he went 11-0 as a starter, and he put up some insane stats. Let me tell you some of the stats. He completed 59.6% of his passes, threw for 2,646 yards, with 26 touchdowns and only 6 interceptions. And this guy was deadly on the run game as well. He had 829 rushing yards and 5 rushing touchdowns. Coming out of East Mississippi Community College in the class of 2017, according to the 247 Sports Composite JUCO rankings, he was the 31st best player in the nation for the JUCO rankings and the 2nd best quarterback in all of JUCO. And he was a 3-star recruit as well. And despite having a very, very strong season and going undefeated as a starting quarterback, he still only had 2 offers, one from Florida Atlantic and one from Texas State. DeAndre Johnson would commit to Florida Atlantic over Texas State, mainly because of the connection he had with Lane Kiffin, and Lane Kiffin was an up-and-coming coach on the rise, and FAU looked like they were a team that could be a threat in the future. When DeAndre Johnson got to FAU's campus and started practicing with the team, he was making some major strides in becoming the starting quarterback, but he was still in the competition with other quarterbacks at the time. But unfortunately, his season for the 2017 college football season would end very, very quick. After playing just 2 games with FAU in the 2017 college football season, his season would be ended right then and there due to discovering he had 2 blood clots in his arm and he had to get surgery to remove those 2 blood clots. In the 2 games he played in with FAU, he only played in 2 games and completed 67% of his passes for 5 yards. But he had 0 touchdowns and 1 interception. But even though he didn't do the most in the season, he still had a decent year on the ground. He had 31 yards and 4 attempts, averaging about 7.8 yards a carry. In his redshirt junior season at FAU, he would not get the playing time that he thought he was going to get, and he was in a quarterback competition most of the season, even though Chris Robinson got most of the starts. DeAndre Johnson only played 6 games for the Owls, and this was an FAU team that struggled all season long and didn't meet any expectations at all. They went 5-7. For the most part, when DeAndre Johnson was playing for FAU this season, it was in very, very small bits of time. Either garbage time when they were blowing someone out, or when they were getting blown out, or when he'll just be in for a certain package. In the 6 games DeAndre Johnson played in, he completed about 57% of his passes while throwing for 161 yards with 2 touchdowns and only 1 interception. And he did very good on the ground yet again, rushing for 178 rushing yards, averaging about 5 a carry, and even had a touchdown on the ground as well. But now DeAndre Johnson had 1 more year of college eligibility for football, and his future with FAU didn't look very bright because FAU looked very bought in to young and up-and-coming quarterback Chris Robinson, who transferred from Oklahoma. DeAndre Johnson would then transfer to HBCU, Texas Southern. For Texas Southern, he only appeared in 9 games for them, and he started in those 9 games, and he was the starting quarterback for Texas Southern. But what I see on ESPN, he only appeared in 9 of the 11 games. In those 9 games he did appear in, he did complete 60% of his passes while throwing for 1,927 yards with 10 touchdowns and 5 interceptions. And now, even though DeAndre Johnson has been a threat on the ground in the past, this season he didn't do much on the ground. He only had 180 rushing yards with 3 touchdowns, only averaging about 1.6 a carry. And even though DeAndre played pretty decent at his time at Texas Southern, the team was not very good. For the 2019 college football season, they went 0-11. And now DeAndre Johnson's college football career was over. And now his goal was to go to the NFL. And the thing with DeAndre Johnson, due to the lack of film he had and time he had as a starting quarterback on the college level, he really had to show out at his pro day and in the HBCU Senior Bowl game they had. But, as we know now, he would actually never get to play in any of those at all. But now that all the events that DeAndre Johnson was supposed to participate in to help his draft stock and to get teams to look at him were now canceled, his chances of even being drafted, which were already really low, were almost abysmal at this point. In the 2020 NFL Draft, DeAndre Johnson would not hear his name called and he would go undrafted to no one's surprise. And since then, he has not been offered a single pro contract due to the situation the world is in now. A lot of people are not being offered contracts that probably should be, like him. Like, come on, he's good enough to get an opportunity at least, but the current situation that we're in right now, he just hasn't been able to get the opportunity due to all the stuff that's been going on. I mean, there's no NFL preseason now, which for anyone fighting for a roster spot or fringe players trying to make a name in the NFL, it's pretty much abysmal at this point, and a lot of them will be cut just because they don't have that rep yet. And also, before I go, the 1,000 subscriber giveaway winner is First Name. I don't know who you are, but I will be putting my Instagram in the link in my description for this video. Just click on it and DM me, and I'll get your information. I'll send you this gift card. That's all I have today, guys. Remember to smash that like button, turn on them post notifications, and subscribe for more videos. B. Kelly out.